How you doing? Welcome back to the Herbie Design Co workshop. Today I'm going to put the business bites aside for a little bit and we're going to do a bit of a workshop tour. I'll show you what I'm working with and how I function my business in a really small space. It's essentially half a double garage, so even smaller than a single. What you see is pretty much the essence of my workshop, but I'll bring you in closer. I'll show you a few key areas and how we make it all function. So this is kind of the essence of the core of my workshop and the core of everything I do. I've got a bit of space in front of me, which is where the car parks when I need to park it in. What I can use that space for is when I'm setting out bigger stuff. If I need to bring bigger stuff out, I can work in that space. But my workbench, like any workshop, is the bread and butter of my operation. It's the bread and butter of how I work and where I function. Everything moves off this. Behind me I've got a series of locker units. I managed to pick up this unit pretty good. Came from a workplace. They were going to throw it out. I claimed it. Got a whole bunch of little lockable units. The locks are a bit of a pain in the backside, but you know what, we'll get rid of those and put some handles on eventually. And I'll even one day put some real labels on it instead of the good old masking tape and permanent marker. It's got my sticker wall on here, thanks to the guys supporting me on that. But this allows me to have everything in an arm's reach. You know, the old kitchen layout rule is you want everything in a metre square or a metre triangle. If it's in reach, it's easy to get to. I know people say drawers and cabinets and all that sort of stuff are where tools go to die, but you know what, I couldn't survive without having my tools in a place like this. Underneath the workbench, I'll bring you down here and give you a quick shot of it later. I've got my toolbox, which is an absolute mess. I've got a tool bag I used to use doing property maintenance, which I still have a few tools floating around in. It's great if I need to go out and do an install or a repair. And then I've got a small set of drawers, which is really just perfect for holding things like markers, rulers, my stickers. If you want a sticker, hit me up. Tubs of screws, bit sets, all that sort of stuff sitting there. Again, it's that accessibility. Accessibility is the key in any workshop, no matter what the size is. As long as you can reach something and get to it when you need it, you're going to be set. Over in the back corner, there's a bit of storage over here. I've got kind of stuff everywhere in that. It's probably the worst space in the whole workshop. Stuff's just everywhere. But sitting on the shelf over there is my metal cold cut saw. I've got my router unit, my cordless router. I've got a compound sliding miter saw that I don't use. It's sitting there taking up space on the shelf. It's going to go. Let's swing you around. I'll show you the opposite angle and you'll see what else is in the. So on this side, it's kind of easy to spot. It's where my table saw sits. It's actually on a rolling mobile base, which means that I can pop the stands down, move it in and out when I need to use it, and move it back out of the way. It comes back to that movability and being able to bring a vehicle in if I need to, when I want to. Basic option of a clamp rack. I've seen numerous massively built ingenious clamp rack designs, but you know what? I've got a brick pillar going up the wall, hook my clamps on that, it's done. Simplest clamp rack. I've had it in every workshop I've ever been in. I've never actually had to build a clamp rack because I've had one built into the workshop. The other side of that for me is we rent in this property. We moved back in October, last year, moved into here. As a renter, I can't make changes into the workshop. I can't make holes in the wall. I can't hang stuff all over the place like I normally would. I've got to work with what I've got. But you know what? I'm doing more and I'm doing bigger stuff in this workshop than I ever have in any other workshops I've had. And this is the smallest workshop I've ever had. This is absolutely evident that your workshop doesn't determine what you can produce. Whatever you want to produce, you've just got to work your workshop in to suit that process. So you can either tackle it and go, I've got a tiny workshop, I'm only going to build tiny stuff, and that's great, you'll be perfect, you'll be able to do it, no worries. Or you can, you know what, I'm actually going to look at my processes to achieve what I want to achieve, to build those giant dining tables you want to build, to build those big resin pour tables you want to build. You can build the bigger furniture in a tiny workshop. You've just got to be efficient in your process and understand what's absolutely necessary. Like I said in my intro video, or one of my other videos, I got rid of a lot of equipment when we moved into this workshop because I just wasn't using it. My jointer went, my bandsaw went, my router table went. I wasn't using them, I didn't need them, I could work without them, and in a space like this, it's just clogging up mess. What I haven't shown you is sitting off to the side is a mobile cart that I have with my milling station back when I had a jointer and thicknesser. My thicknesser now sits under the bench. I bring it up when I need to use it. I don't need it out every day because I'm not using it every day. I bring it out when I want it and when I need it, and I put it out of the way. And that's the key. You'll notice things look pretty neat and tidy in here. Sure, I did a tidy up before I started this video. Did I clean? No way, there's dust and shit everywhere. But I tidied up, not for the video's sake, but because I'm about to start a new build. So I've got steel sitting off to the side as well, ready to cut up for a new table base. And I make sure I go through and I tidy between every big build. What that means is that I've got a clean, tidy not clean, workspace, which means I've got a tidy and clean mind, and I'm ready to jump into the next build. How you set your workshop is a really big key in what you're actually going to be able to achieve and the efficiency you're going to be able to bring if you're trying to operate as a business. If you want to operate as a hobby, this is still bang on perfect. You can still fit a lot in. I'll bring you in a minute. I'll pull out my welding table and I'll show you what I've got there, and that's how I run all my metal fab. Let's do that now. I'll pull it out, I'll set it up, and I'll show you how it operates. So that's my welding table. It's pretty simple, pretty basic, but it does what I need. I've got a slatted top on mine and it's marked out perfectly to fit my clamps in it so I can clamp down what I'm working on. I have gone with a table off the side of my cart. That means I can bring the cart out, I can use it, I can weld somewhere else if I need to, or I can bring the table up to work on. Keen-eyed among you will notice I don't have any gas bottles. I'm running gasless at the moment. I've found that I can do a pretty decent weld with a gasless MIG. Sure, I know once I pull gas in, I'm going to start to get worlds better. But a bit of cleanup and I can get it back to where I need it to be for what I'm doing. Again, it comes back to that basis of fit for purpose, fit for role, fit for what you want it to do. That's got to be the basis for any tool in your workshop if you're actually going to run an efficient business. You can buy the best of everything, you can buy the be all and end all. Sure, I could be running CNC in here if I wanted to, I could make space for it, let's be honest. But there's no value in me having CNC in my workshop. There's no value in me having the jointer that I got rid of, the bandsaw that I got rid of, the router table that I got rid of. Sure, I can use them, sure I can make space for them, but it's just extra excess, extra cost, extra maintenance to look after those machines that I can work without through some really well designed and well made jigs and different practices. Let's pack this up and I'll give you a quick pan around and just show you a general overview of where I'm at. So that's pretty much it. You can see it there. There's a storage, entrance door, can move around, come on workbench there, hidden down underneath, like I said, the thicknesser, the messy toolbox. That's pretty much my workshop. That's pretty much what I'm working in. Table saw behind me there now, dust collection, hidden over the back there, kind of can't spot it because the welding jacket's in the way, is my compressor. And even that really doesn't get a whole lot of use, more family use than it does workshop use. The rest of the workshop, I'll pan you around so you can see it. It's really just family stuff. There's my trolley that I was talking about that I can wheel around. And a lot of times that'll sit here in front of the table saw and that way it's out of the way for the family. That's my workshop. I hope it gives you some inspiration for how you can work yours and what you can actually achieve in very little space. Till next time, keep making.